Hey, Kiran, and welcome everybody to another episode of Big Life Mindset. Once again, back into this video podcasting format. I hope it's working well for you. In any case, I wanted to share this experience that I had yesterday morning, which was just a really shitty one, but I learned so much from it, right? So if you've been following along on my journey, one of these things that I advocate massively is to put myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable. The reason I do that is because, let's say this is where I'm comfortable and this is where I'm uncomfortable. Where's that camera? There we go. Comfortable, uncomfortable. This bit here is where I grow. Like, that's the stretch. That's the challenge for me. Eventually, you do that enough and your comfort level goes from here up to here. And then your new uncomfortable gets further up, right? So as part of that journey, I have set myself a goal of swimming the Cook Strait in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Now, if you're not familiar with the Cook Strait, it's a stretch of water that is at its shortest point. It's 26 kilometres from point to point, and it separates the North and South Islands. Now, the reason I've taken on board this challenge is in order to swim the Cook Strait, one, you need to learn how to swim or know how to swim. Two, you've got to be really comfortable with cold and cold water. And three, you've also got to be really comfortable with being able to swim and not see what's below you. I'm not really good with any of those three things yet. So as part of this development that I'm going through and I'm putting myself through is I have joined a swim squad, and twice a week, Monday and Wednesday mornings, I go down and I'm in a group or join a group of people and kind of working on my technique. Now, just quickly, I'm in this group and I reckon I'm the youngest person in the group by maybe 20 years. But these people just smash me all the time, relentlessly too. There's no let up, nor should they. I mean, we're kind of working together. It doesn't feel like that when I'm just getting lapped continuously. But in any case, that's off topic. What I wanted to share though was I've had this absolutely brutal time trying to improve my technique. Now, this is not blow-assing. This is me just stating how I feel. I find life really easy, like really easy. I don't have any complaints. I very rarely do, I think. And I also find that I can quite naturally pick something up. If it's a language, I'll like pick up a fundamental quite quickly, or in jiu-jitsu, pick up the fundamental or some of the fundamentals quite quickly. I've just never found it hard to like pick something up and quickly start running with it. Except swimming. Man, I've quickly learned that all these other things in my life that I kind of pat myself on the back and say, man, Eddie, that was awesome how well you did there. Well done. None of that translates into swimming. Not one aspect of it. And so I've had this just really torrid time trying to learn how to swim properly. Anyway, so I'm in the pool yesterday morning and, battling from one end to another. And for swimmers out there, you'll know that good technique looks like a chain of, 10, 15 things that they all come together and, and you've got this beautiful technique. My problem, or one of my challenges that I'm overcoming, is that as a chronic overthinker, if you give me 10 things to think about, I'll try and think about all 10 things. I'll even chuck in a few more just for good measure. And when you start doing that, when you start focusing on 10 things, it's really easy to think about all of them and yet do none of them well. And so that's the situation that I've been finding myself in. I'm in the pool trying to swim and my mind is just going crazy. And I once one thing falls apart, then the other 9 things fall apart after it as well. And so I'm doing a couple of lengths, And my swim coach is there, Jen Rowe, and she's awesome. And this lady is, she's got the patience of it. Patience? Yeah, the patience of a saint. I kid you not. Because it must be really, really painful watching me in the pool. And I'm not just saying that for laughs. I mean it. It must be. Anywho, so she asked me to do a couple of lengths. She asked me to do this one length in particular, and she's going to observe me. So off I go. And as I'm swimming, I'm about 3 or 4 strokes into it, where I think, oh God, she's watching me. She's going to be analysing me, right? Oh, what's she going to be thinking? She's going to be thinking this is bloody terrible. She's going to be thinking, how on earth is this guy even in the pool? And all of those things that I need to think about in order to maintain a good technique, they all just fall apart. They all wash away, right? The first one goes, the second one, and then it's quickly followed by all the rest. By the time I get to the other end of the pool, which is only 25 meters, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, but annoyed, all the rest. I pop my head up and she says, how was it? I said, man, it was terrible. And I meant it too. And then I said to her, have you ever noticed that when one thing goes wrong, then it all falls apart? And without skipping a beat, straight away she said to me, yeah, but have you noticed how when you get one thing right, it all comes together? That was gold. That was a great piece of advice, a great observation, piece of advice, however you want to describe it. And man, it definitely helped me when I did the reverse lengths, but more so, it helped me later that morning, later that day, this morning, right now. It just put my mind at ease that, yeah, I get one of these things right, and sooner or later, it's going to click. It's going to click hard too, because I've been putting in all this additional effort. I've been working on these techniques, and it might not happen straight away, but when it does, I can feel like it's going to, my progress is really going to shoot through the sky. This experience that I've been having with the swimming, I don't feel like it's one of these social media affirmations experiences, where you like see a post and someone says, just try harder, or you can overcome this, or like, I got to be honest, man, I don't feel like I'm in that world. I feel like I'm smashing my head against a brick wall, and the wall is obviously winning. With what Jen had said in mind, though, it's made me realize, actually, I'm not smashing my head against a brick wall. I'm just kind of fighting myself here. I'm kind of beating myself up over this thing, trying to get everything right, where actually, why don't I just look at focusing on one thing and let the rest come together as it will? All right. Hey, thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you taking the time to join me. I hope that anecdote, that personal story is useful for you. I am, like I said, and this isn't bragging, this is just how I feel. I love life, and part of that, I think, is because I find life quite easy. But in this situation, I'm being humbled, and humbled well. However, that being said, a great piece of advice has just kind of made me look beyond where I'm currently at and say, you know what? Yeah, this is going to get better. And I hope this serves as a reminder, catalyst, insightful, whatever it is for you, that if you're going through a similar situation, just like narrow your field of focus on that one thing. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come together. You can do it. All right. As always, please click follow or subscribe. I do appreciate when you take that 15 seconds to do that click, because, for me, it's just a nice piece of recognition that I was worth your time today. All right. As always, be uncomfortable and grow. Peace out.